If McDonald's paid 15 bucks an hour, would there be a Shania Twain? Well, that's what one shareholder of McDonald's, who was speaking at a company's annual meeting, thought. Now, he said that there is another reason that we should appreciate the company. Their low wages have ensured that a number of successful employees basically left to go on to do better things. Now, during an open session on where a number of attendees brought up the company's low pay, a man who identified himself as a shareholder for the last 25 years cited a number of celebrities who once worked at McDonald's. Now, that includes notable celebrities like Sharon Stone, Shania Twain, Leno, and Jeff Bezos, of course, the owner of Amazon. I'm sure if they were making $15 an hour, he says, they'd still be working at McDonald's. He called the company a stepping stone for people to have a first job. Now, he also warned that if wages were too high, even the young Sharon Stones of the future might end up being too pricey. We're going to have robots and less employees. So here's what's funny. The whole idea that if you pay somebody a living wage, they're not going to go anywhere. Gee, I really wanted to be an actor. But, McDonald's was just paying me too good to flip burgers. And I just love flipping burgers, so fuck my dreams. Is this guy living the real world? In the real world, people actually have dreams and aspirations and don't care. Like, some people will take jobs, shockingly, that pay lower than other jobs so they can do something that they don't hate. Now, I'm not saying everybody hates working at McDonald's. I'm sure there are some people who love working at McDonald's, and I'm not hating on them. There are some people who love working in manufacturing. There are some people who love working on cars. There are some people who love cleaning dumpsters. There's nothing wrong with that. Paying them a living wage isn't a bad idea. It's a good idea. And saying that if we pay people a living wage, they're not going to go and actually do anything else. Well, why would they? Well, you're thinking with a ridiculous mentality of money rules everything. Money makes all the decisions. Now, let's be fair. Money does help make a lot of financial decisions, right? Somebody who wants to be an artist will take a job that they don't like at a corporate job or a couple of fast food jobs in order to make ends meet. That happens all the time. But that also, if somebody gets a break to go and do something and they're willing to and they're able to work odd jobs or whatever until they make it, then they're going to do that. The idea that Sharon Stone or Shania Twain or Jeff Bezos, oh yeah, I'm not going to make Amazon because I'm just making too much money flipping burgers, is ridiculous. And it's a justification for trying to keep wages low. It's a stepping stone. No, dude. Giving somebody an actual fair pay for fair work, which it is work, right? Is not it's this argument's ridiculous. I can't believe I have to go out and say this, but I think it's because Americans, we as a culture have become so focused on money, right? The culture of Wall Street, for example, right? On Wall Street, instead of when it comes to job satisfaction. And I believe what was it? There's a segment on Fox News where this ridiculous douchebag, right, was arguing that men deserve more money because we're up all night at the office, working, pulling all-nighters. Well, yeah, but if you're doing that as a job you hate, then what's the point, right? If you go to work and you hate your job, it doesn't really matter how much money you make, at least in my opinion. I don't know. A lot of people seem to do that. And that's the mentality that we have. That's the culture that we have. Is that, I don't know, let's get a paycheck. Even if I hate what I'm doing and I want to kill myself every time I go into work, I do it because it pays me more money than doing actually something that I want to do. To me, it doesn't make any sense. And this kind of brings me to why some people, I think, rich people hoard money. Not all of them, but I think some of them hoard money because they're empty. Because they don't have job satisfaction. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing something fulfilling. And that's what this guy doesn't understand. It's like, well, of course you do something that you hate, that's not fulfilling to you, if it pays you a living wage. Not always, man. Maybe sometimes people want to take the risk, and they're able to get a job that they actually enjoy and get paid well for doing it. And the idea that somebody who's now rich and famous wouldn't be rich and famous anymore just because they would have gotten paid a living wage. And by the way, he leaves out the examples of back during those times where Sharon Stone and Bezos and all worked at McDonald's. You could actually afford more things. You could afford to pay for an education on working a part-time job at McDonald's. You can't do that anymore, right? You could actually afford to live on your own on a McDonald's way. You can't do that anymore. So he leaves out so many points. This guy's ridiculous. And he's just trying to justify him getting a fat paycheck as a shareholder of McDonald's. Because remember, if the workers get paid more, he'll end up getting just a little bit less. And that, to him, I think, is completely unacceptable.